There should either be severe market regulation.
That's not true.
By the
inelastic demand? What are you talking about? Even medically necessary things don't have an inelastic demand, right? I'm on Vyvanse and I need it. It's medically necessary to treat my ADHD, but the demand for that is not inelastic. I could live without fucking Vyvanse. There's a ton of different treated things in the United States where you could live without. The demand is not inelastic whatsoever. I can't watch him. Fuck, he's an idiot. He's just a fucking retard. I can't.
Destiny?
Why, what do you want?
Hold on, I'm so sorry, man. Give me 1 second. You're not on the speaker. I cannot hear you for some reason. Here, I guess I can just hold you up to my ear. I'm on mobile. Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. What's up? What do you want?
So, I was watching some of your videos from the other night. I saw it on last night on Destiny, really. But basically, you were talking about healthcare, and I had a couple of things I pretty big disagreed with you on. First off, big fan. But yeah, some of the things you were saying was like, healthcare isn't inelastic, and I would kind of disagree with that pretty massively. The example that you used was you talked about your own Vyvanse, how that you needed your Vyvanse, but you could also survive without it. But I would say that's like pretty different from like a diabetic, for example, which like 11.5% of Americans are. I just don't think that like we can still be capitalist without necessarily feeling the need to not support social healthcare. And like social healthcare isn't like socialism, like you were saying inside the video the other night, or the stream.
I don't know where that last part came from. I don't know who has ever said that on my stream.
You were saying that you were a capitalist, will never be social. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm not a socialist. You said that diabetics are 11% of the American population. Doesn't that further my point?
I mean, not really. You're saying that like inside your system, those people should just have to pay because they're not the average person. I'm saying that those people should be protected.
Wait. I never said that. I just said that in general, I think that like some pricing can discourage consumption of like medical stuff, that it can be relatively elastic. It probably depends on the type of medicine that you're consuming, I'm sure. Like if you're having a heart attack, I'm sure you would take out whatever you need to, but especially for like preventative medicine and stuff like that, I imagine that the demand for this is probably relatively elastic. That's why people go so long between like eye appointments or dental appointments or whatever.
Fair. I mean, also rescheduling on those like specialists though is like, this is a super big anecdote. I don't know how many statistics would exist for this, but like I've had to go to hand specialist and burn specialist. Those appointments take forever to try and get through. I mean, like I think I got rescheduled for like up to 3 to 4 weeks on a single one of my burn appointments when I had a 3rd-degree burn. And the medication's super expensive. The burn creams and everything you get, it's all super expensive. And I mean, obviously healthcare and insurance are like a separate conversation to some degree. But yeah, I mean, I think that's why people are mad. Is just because, you know, they're so tied together. Healthcare feels incredibly important to people, and people without access feel like they're getting gypped by the insurance companies that are essentially standing around and denying a lot of claims.
Are these doctors just like sitting by idly, not doing anything?
I mean, no, obviously not. No one's saying that.
Well,
but
wait, that's what, when you're saying that they're denying claims like arbitrarily, like what? Like there's all this stuff that's just waiting around to be used, but nobody's using it?
I mean, arguably, yeah, there would be like some of the medical procedures done would not be done. So like, for example, like there might be better versions of cancer screening that either your insurance doesn't want to cover because like you're high risk, for example. I think that'd be a really good example of what I'm talking about.
Wait, but that's supposed to be on my side or on your side?
It's on my side. Let's say that there's a cancer patient that is like, hey, I need this treatment, but the insurance company is like, hey, you're high risk, so we're probably not going to cover it for you. They're essentially killing that person.
Wait, high risk for what?
And also, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
When you say high risk, what do you mean by that?
High risk would be like if a person's very likely to die.
Oh,
so
sure.
I think there's like certain things that they would not do on a person that's more likely to die, like super, super expensive procedures that are like, you know, like maybe not with the highest chance of success rate.
Sure, but I mean, like that would be the exact same, like that would be just as true under like a socialized healthcare, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's better because it's not leaving anyone behind. Like there's just certain people that underneath the capitalist healthcare system, they're just kind of, you know, sore out of luck. If you can't afford
but I'm just saying that for that particular circumstance, like that would probably be the exact same under like a socialized system as well. So for those people,
I mean, yeah, there would probably be some people that do not get the treatment that could be the most effective. I will agree to that. Do you also agree that there's people that are left behind by our current by our current healthcare system?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, what should we do about that? Obviously, that a public option isn't going to solve all of it. I don't think that, like, I think we can still be capitalist,
Wait,
and
why would
all
a
of us
public
can say,
option? What do you mean by solve all? I mean, a public option would be a significant upgrade from where we're at now, right?
yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, 100%. But it's not an all fixing problem. There would still be people that either couldn't afford the public option to begin with, you might want to look this number up. I could be wrong. I said something earlier about preventable deaths in America, and I decided to just look up how many people have died due to lack of health care, and it's
Wait,
not as
hold on.
many.
I
But
might
it's like,
be. I'm not even trying to be facetious, and I might be a total idiot. Okay.
no, go for it.
Aren't public options supposed to be like almost free or like incredibly cheap? Or I thought.
Yeah, they're super super cheap. I don't think they're free though. Like I don't even think that Canada's public option is free. I could be totally wrong though. I don't know anything about Canada's politics.
Okay. I mean, I guess like if you couldn't afford like I guess the public option, like I mean, if I'm advocating
Like,
for a
why does
public
a
option,
homeless person
what?
gotta die? Because they have like some like illness that we could treat for, but they just don't have the money. Like, we're liberals. Like, let's go and help these people that are less. They like that. You know, they don't have as many advantages as everyone else. That doesn't mean that they should just die. Like, that's
Well,
the
I
whole
mean, like,
idea
what do
of
you
our
mean
party.
by what do you mean by just die? I mean, like if they're having like a life like a life threatening
I
condition.
mean, life-threatening things. Sure, they can go in and like get help, but then they're gonna have medical debt, which makes their life even worse afterwards. Like 50% of Americans have medical debt, and I said this earlier. It's the
I
second
don't even
most
know what that
common way to
means,
get
and I don't know if I
bankruptcy.
agree. But what does 50% of Americans have medical debt mean? What does that mean?
It means that 50% of American adults have medical debt of some kind. It means they have like an outstanding medical bill that they
Like,
have to
let's say
pay.
that I have like outstanding credit card debt of like $5,000, and I've bought in like Advil once. Do I now have outstanding medical debt forever or until I pay off my credit card, or what?
I do think that they're very different. I do think that medical expenses are considered their own thing, but I could be totally wrong. I mean, that's a pretty valid point. I won't lie. But I mean, I hope you can also see mine, where I'm essentially saying that I feel like under the capitalist system, we're leaving certain people behind. It's like 24,000 people that die every single year due to preventable illness, and I don't think that's the champion. That's the system that we should be championing. I agree with you that we should
Hold
be
on,
shaming the people that are.
I never said that that's the system we should be championing. Do you think I want people to die from preventable illnesses?
No, of course not. No. I'm not. I just mean that you more or less agree with the current system. You would just prefer that a public option was added.
I don't
And
know if I say I
you
would
can
agree with the current system. I don't think I've ever in my entire, well, maybe 20 years ago, I think I've always said that I'm in favor of at least a public option.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm saying that a public option might not be enough for everyone. I would rather have a system that I think that medicine should be essentially free. And
That's fine
I
if you think
there's
that, but we're not even close to that. But like a public option would probably be on the way there, right? Like the ACA was on the way to, the ACA is probably on the way to a public option if we ever get one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with everything you say about getting us more and more left. I mean, yeah, I think we should have a public option, but I also think that Medicare should be essentially free to some extent. I don't think that we should be profiting off the sickness of others. You can disagree with me, but I think that's bad underneath the capitalist system. That
Wait, why would it be bad to
I think the
profit?
government
Wait, what is inherently bad about profiting off of that?
profiting off the sickness and death of others.
Yeah, do you think that people that work in like mortuaries or whatever, or
I knew you
funeral
were going to
homes?
say that, bro. Please don't do that. Really? I mean, like, okay, no, I would not say that's a very different thing. I think it's very different if I'm like, hey, man, I'm holding the power cord to your life. Give me $100 a day or I'm going to unplug it. Versus, like, I don't know, like the housing market being like, oh, we might make some people's life slightly more difficult by increasing rent. That is a completely different thing. Someone that's trapped inside a hospital with like $50,000 worth of debt feels that crushingness on their like entire soul. I think that's like a real thing that you need to think about.
What are you from, America or Canada?
Oh, I'm from America.
Okay, I feel like there's like a lot of things. I don't know, like what do we like? Should housing not be monetized? Since if somebody's pulling the plug on you leaving a house, that would be bad.
No. Housing, I think that's fine. I just think that capitalism should have
Wait.
its
What about like
expense.
food?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there should be a very good argument that the government should be able to give out some free food to people.
Well, the government
I
does
think you
give
would
out some
agree
free
with
food
that.
to people, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, certain things like soup kitchens that get government funding,
No,
but
like
I don't
SNAP
like,
benefits and food stamps. Aren't these some of like the largest government?
Oh yeah,
things? Sure.
yeah. You're 100%
Okay, so like,
right.
so why?
But I
Wait,
mean,
so
even
why
food
is so why is medicine like so exceptionally special and protected from all these other categories? Why is this such a different thing?
I would say that food stamps do not complete. That's a good point. I do understand what you're saying. You're saying that government subsidies do exist inside these areas. I would just argue with food stamps, you can essentially go in on money that is not your own and be able to get everything you need. I would say on government healthcare, you're not able to get everything you need inside a lot of cases.
Well, to
Yeah,
be clear,
I think
for food stamps, you don't get the best. You just get whatever the fuck you can afford, right?
yeah, but you get what you need. I'm saying that, and there's a lot of cases. Again, 24,000
Well,
Americans.
hold on. It depends on what you mean. What do you need? What does a diabetic need? A diabetic doesn't need insulin, right?
Oh, yeah, they do, man. They die otherwise.
Then not immediately. It just takes a while, but they will
Within
die
like
eventually.
4 days, they could have awful permanent side effects, brother. That's why people start losing limbs, especially depending on your age.
In 4 days. I don't think you die. I don't think you get diabetic neuropathy in 4 days.
No, but you can get permanent things. Even being inside a permanent state of hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia is incredibly bad for you in the long term.
Of course, in the long term, yes. But like, I mean, when you talk about like what do you need, I think that one of the issues is people think like what you need is the best and latest and most whatever of a thing, but that's not true. There's a whole sliding scale of what a person might need or want, right?
I am myself am not saying that. I am not saying that I think the homeless person deserves the most cutting edge cancer technology. I am saying that they are entitled to some amount of help and they should not have medical debt afterwards.
Okay, sure. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but then the question becomes like, well,
okay.
who pays for it, right?
I mean, obviously we do as the taxpayers, but I think that's like a sort of thing that like I would.
So are
want
we
my
ready
tax
to like
benefit
up
going
the
to.
taxes
Oh,
on
I'm
like?
so sorry, bro. I'm at my job, man. Give me just 1 second, bro. I'm
Sure.
so sorry. Hey, buddy, I'm back now. I'm super sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know 100% what we like disagree on.
See, that's what I'm. Okay, so my thing is, I thought that this. I've even been saying this inside some of your comments. I thought that you were really for like, you're a sock dem more or less, right?
Yeah, like I'm in favor of like a public option, probably single payer. Just depends on what it looks like. But yeah, I'm not opposed to any of these things. I think it would probably be an improvement over what we have now. But I just think what?
Would you be okay with just Medicare for all, healthcare for all, just flatly?
There are going to be issues that I disagree with in the fine point. Like I think that copays.
But you can agree that it's probably better, right?
I think that like copays and deductibles are probably good things. They should just be scaled accordingly. They shouldn't be like preventing somebody from seeking care that would be beneficial, but just enough to like deter people from overutilization. But I mean, in the aggregate, yeah, I would be in favor of something like that for sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was my big disagreement. I thought you were. That might have been me more or less misinterpreting some of the things you said. We might have some very, very small disagreements on some of the finites. I also really disagree with you, or not disagree. I really agree with you on the whole CEO thing. I think it is crazy how regularly we get into just like championing the worst people. But
like Luigi.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think anybody's championing the healthcare CEO. I'm not championing the healthcare CEO.
No. I mean that people are championing the shooter. I was saying I agree with your take on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, I mean, yeah, it sounds like we do agree. I mean, if you're for, trying to push for more, policies like healthcare for all, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's what everyone should be pushing for. I just thought, again, you were saying that, like, it seems like our healthcare system is really good and that most generally everyone is very happy with it. I would say that like 33% of people being very unhappy with the system is probably not a very good metric.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's just the problem is when people get fixated on like one thing, it inhibits our ability to have like productive conversations about improving things. Like I don't think health insurance even makes up like a quarter of the totality of the issues that we have with our current healthcare system. I think there's a ton of expenses like up and down the whole line that have to be addressed, and then people fixate on one thing, and nothing will come from this. Like nothing will change or improve from our healthcare system in the next few years because of this. Nothing will, and all this energy is just wasted.
Agree.
But okay.
It's almost even like you just replace one figurehead with another. But hey, I don't want to take up too much more of your stream's time. Thank you so much for having me in.
All right, be careful, buddy.
Yeah, man. Love you too, man. Be safe.
Bye. All right, well,